Well, welcome to our second Advent Sunday, which is about embracing the peace in the storm. And yes, there is peace in the storm. We'll get to that. Last week we focused on faith, and with the help of several members of our Writers and Voices group who were wonderful, well, we talked of a faith in something larger than us, a power that at once is greater than us, but also one with us. Our faith becomes conscious in us as we at first get an intellectual understanding, and then that leads us to a spiritual understanding and awareness. Little by little, we become aware of the spiritual journey that we are on. I often hear people say, when I look back, and they didn't know they were on the journey. Well, we do look back. In that journey, we have a realization in that journey that we are one with the one source of all, the invisible spiritual substance, an infinite process that we have come to call God. And of course, along the way, we have doubt. Doubt is natural within faith. Doubt arises within the context of faith. It's a wistful longing to be sure of the things in which we place our faith. But it is not and need not be a problem. Even with doubt, we can keep moving along in our spiritual journey. And so we continue on this journey this Sunday. This is a Sunday of peace. And I don't know about you, but I need more peace than usual these days. Anybody else? Yes. Absolutely. And yet, peace somehow seems elusive this year. Certainly not a word that seems easy to embrace today. Maybe later, but today it's a bit difficult. And when we put peace up against fear, it can look like fear is winning. There may well be things and people and circumstances that are not presenting themselves in a way that we would like. And we may decide to then go back to bed, or at least take another nap. All of us may understand that all in this physical realm is always changing. It's temporary. It's always changing. Nevertheless, we still desire to feel peaceful, to not feel so reactive, to be that calm in whatever storm appears to be swirling around us. Anyone else want to be that way? Yeah. Unity minister Sue Syking wrote, "More than anything on earth, inner peace is what we seek and want. Peace is one of the greatest, finest, and highest states of being. It is one in which it does not matter what happens to or around us." This powerful, fearless peace lies right within us, right within you, right within me, right within everyone. It is not dependent on anything out here, but it does require your active participation. But first, I want to introduce a word. I didn't know what this word meant. I never had even heard of this word. Maybe you might all know this word. Let's see if I can even say it right. It's Imperturbability. Imperturbability. So let me tell you a story about that. There were two artists who were asked to illustrate peace. Each was assigned the task of depicting a peaceful scene on canvas. Well, the first artist drew a beautiful picture of a countryside on a warm, sunny day. A soft sun shining down on the green grass and on this picturesque farmhouse and grazing cattle. A farmer walks contentedly behind strong plow horses, planting the field for spring planting. The picture is one of beauty and quiet tranquility, certainly a peaceful picture. Well, the other artist took a different approach. He drew, or she, drew a rugged, majestic cliff on a mountain. Gnarled trees, twisted by years of violent winds, jutted out from this craggy mountainside. Dark clouds hung low and fierce, while jagged streaks of lightning slashed across an angry sky. Well, this picture seemed to be one of violence, chaos, and rage. But as you look more closely, something else becomes visible. There, in one of the crevices of the Rocky Mountain, tucked back out of reach of the wind and the rain, is a nest with two small birds. Apparently unconcerned about the storm, they simply appeared calm, cozy, peaceful, as they patiently waited for the turbulence to pass. And isn't that the way it so often is? We may want to be surrounded by peace, but storms rage. Problems and pressures without threaten to steal our peace of mind. Well, the answer is that word, imperturbability. It's an inner peace that doesn't leave when circumstances change. It's a peace that is greater than the problems of this life. It is built on assurance that the storm will pass, that we will survive the storm, that we might even grow stronger because of it. And in the meantime, we will not endure it alone. There are other birds in that nest with us. Imperturbability. It's the result of a peace that passes all understanding. For serenity is not freedom from the storm, but peace amid the storm. In the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, Jesus tells his disciples and all of us, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give it to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." And I find that interesting. That's the title of our Advent book this year, Be Not Afraid. But it also points out the importance of the words of Jesus. I give you peace, but not as the world gives you peace. So how do we get this peace that Jesus spoke of? Well, here is the part that requires your participation. Okay, remember, I warned you it was coming. The peace that you want is not found out here. Even if you find it on a quiet morning as you sip your nice warm cup of coffee, even if you find it on a solitary walk in the forest, even if you find it sitting on a deserted beach. Yes, you could have those moments of peace. But then as you sip your coffee, your cell phone's going to start ringing. Or as you walk through that forest in that peace, you might come upon a crowd of rowdy teenagers. Or on that deserted beach. But then a big, extended, noisy, rowdy family wants to plop down right next to you. And your peace vanishes. It was the peace that the world gives. So of course it's temporary. Of course it vanishes. The peace that Jesus spoke of was the peace of God that resides within, that comes from spirit. That peace is so easy to access, and yet we make it so difficult. It is the peace where you go within and shut the door to the outside world. I love the fact that there are so many regulars and occasional visitors who join Deborah and I at the Wednesday evening meditation on Facebook. It's 30 minutes, but in that service, there is really only 5 minutes of silence. 5 minutes to embrace that inner peace that is God. 5 minutes to feel that peace that is God. 5 minutes to know that peace is also us. And yet I know that I and others leave that service very much aware that we are the peace of God. But maybe you're unable to attend that Wednesday evening meditation service. And yet, that God of peace is still waiting right within you, waiting there for you. So sometime during your day, take a silent pause and affirm that God peace within you. Affirm that you are the expression of the peace that is God, that is yours to manifest in the world. You could also take a few minutes to read something spiritually uplifting and then just sit in silence for a few minutes. You could also listen to some beautiful music and then sit in the silence for a few minutes. Does anyone really find that burdensome? Anyone? Yeah, no. It's really easy. We're the ones who make it hard. We think, I need a good half hour to sit in that silence. Yeah. No, you need a minute. You need a minute. You might take 2. However you choose to go into the silence, that's up to you. But you must go into that inner silence in order to allow the peace that is God to move in, through, and as you. So instead of going back to bed, instead of taking that nap, what might happen if we were that non-reactive and peaceful presence in our world? Well, for starters, We would be peaceful agents of change, just as Jesus was. We would help to make the world a better place, just as Jesus did. The world does not need any more angry people, does not need any more reactive people. It needs more peaceful agents of change, and that could very easily be all of us. And this is the time of year to prepare to interact with the world as peaceful agents of change. It is Advent, a time of preparation, a time to prepare for the birth of a new understanding, a new way of being, a new year, and a rebirth of our Christ truth within, our peace that needs to be expressed in each one of us and then into this world. I am the peace that is God. I claim and live peace now. What if we said this affirmation 10 times a day and then just sat in silence for a minute? Now, the words aren't important. What is in your heart is important. I could affirm that I am peace 100 times a day, but if in my heart I harbor fear and hatred, peace will remain elusive. We are ending one year, and soon we'll be beginning a new year. But we don't have to wait until then. We don't have to wait for any external change. We are empowered to claim our eternal, never changing, always available peace that is God, and to be that peace. Not tomorrow, today. I am the peace that is God. I claim and live peace now. So what I'd like you to do is to just close your eyes, continue breathing, please, and just listen to this poem that is also a prayer. In the quiet stillness, we turn within, seeking the light that dwells in us, a spark of the divine, unfaltering, always present, always whole. Here, in this sacred place, we choose again and again to be vessels of peace, to stand in love's steady flow, where fear fades and kindness grows. When darkness still stirs, calling forth shadows, we answer, not with anger, but with grace. When the world shouts with voices of division, we listen deeply for the voices of unity, the soft whisper of our shared humanity. O Spirit of love, may we become clear mirrors of your compassion, meeting hatred with humility, offering calm where chaos stirs. Let us be a steady light, even in uncertain times, living as gentle agents of peace, lifting others as we ourselves are lifted. For each breath we take in love, each thought anchored in hope, ripples outward in a blessing, an ever-widening circle, a wave of peace to still troubled waters. May we walk gently in this world, a quiet, radiating force of healing, the light that cannot be extinguished, the peace that forever endures. And so it is. I am the peace that is God. I claim and live peace now. So just open your eyes and come back here. I want to thank Unity Minister Ron Carstetter for that beautiful poem prayer titled Be the Light, and we'll have that in the newsletter on Friday for you. But just like those two birds nestled together, let us work together to be that peace that is not of this world. Every day in this Advent, let's claim and affirm our inner peace at least 10 times a day. And then simply sit for a minute, a few minutes in silence. Let's really prepare for our own rebirth, and then to lovingly, peacefully challenge the fear within, and then challenge the fear out here with peace. Let us be the peaceful agents of change together. Namaste.